everybody and welcome back to Let's Build a Reaver Titan Part 3. That's right guys, we are on the third part of our Reaver. And it's really just been a lot of tinkering and mucking about with it this time in regards to like the paint job and stuff like that. But I'll show you where I'm at so far with it. I'm going to bring it on with two hands. It's quite the heavy monstrosity now. This easily alone weighs more than the entire Warhound put together, and I'm not sure that I'm going to fit it all in one shot. Oh my days, no, I'm not going to fit it all in one shot. As you can see, made considerable progress with the Carapace, with putting all the armour plates on, and adding some extra little whistles and bells such as these Aquillas here. The shoulder pads are done and painted more or less. However, they are only just blue tacked on for the sake of show and tell purposes at the moment. Not sure whether or not I'm going to have these fixed in place once I've got the arms on. Really not too sure on that one, because the issue I have is that I don't even think they were on the right way around either. I think they were supposed to be on that way. The issue I have is that they're quite stuck out on the side. They're very just out on the edge, and I don't want to like have nudge it and it's like snap the resin. So what I may do, I may again magnetize the shoulder pads just so that it doesn't have any risk of additional damage, while transporting it, or if I fumble it or whatever. With that being said, it's a pretty substantial chunk of resin now. I am fairly certain that it would annihilate your foot if you dropped on it now. As in, like, not even like a little bit, as in, like, you might as well not even bother going to hospital. You might as well just take a saw and something hot and just cauterize it. After you've sawn it off, it would just mangle it completely. I have fixed the issue of magnets. Now, someone pointed out in my last video that you don't technically need to magnetize the Carapace because it does fit on there quite nice. As you can see there, it fits on fairly snug. However, I have decided that I would indeed use a magnet just to secure it that little bit extra whilst I'm transporting it. So as a result, I've put a magnet in that bit there, and then I did what I said I was going to do on the last episode. I'm going to have to just zoom in here, I can't maneuver it too well. And that is put a little magnet in here. In this little, if it would focus, hello, focus, in this little bit here. It looks alright, it fits, it wants to focus on the green for some reason. There we go. It fits in there, a bit of epoxy glue, a bit of epoxy resin in there, and it was fine, it just stayed in there pretty damn well. I need to give it a bit of a dust, because when I was hollowing it out, because I had to actually get in there with my Tack Life multi-tool with a router bit here. This is not a router bit, this is a circular saw, because I'll show you what I was doing with that in a bit. But yeah, so I had to get in there with the router and actually make it a touch bigger, literally by about 0.5 millimeter. Probably not even that, and the magnet fit perfectly. The issue with the magnet fitting perfectly is there's absolutely nowhere for the actual excess glue to go, which is why it pooled around the outside, but there's not much I can really do with that short of yanking that out and starting again, which I don't intend on doing. We added the additional... Let's have a look. I can't remember if last time I showed you it had the arm mounts on. But we added those. I'm going to probably go in there and do a little bit more detail. They're kind of like just blocked in at the moment with a bit of a wash and a bit of a dry brush on there. We've also got the chest armour here, which is beautiful and shiny with the Imperial Aquila emblazoned on it there. And we've also got this bit here. Now this bit is removable. In the instructions, it does say do not glue. And I don't know why. I don't know why you wouldn't glue it, unless you really, really, really wanted people to be able to see this component here, this kind of like all these pipe works and stuff. But as it stands, it sits pretty much exactly over, and then this bit here allows the top carapace to sit on it nice and flush. But as you can see, it doesn't really cover anything up that well, as you can see in there. It's just there. And I did question what this piece was for, because even if let's see if I can zoom out a little bit more again. I can't, I have to move the camera a little bit. Even if I take this piece off, when you put the Carapace on, the only thing I can see it doing is helping secure the Carapace a little bit more, because if I just put that on there, you can't really tell that it's not on there in the slightest. The only thing is that it does disguise, and I'm actually very, very happy about that, it does disguise this horrendous join. And let me just get a little bit of a zoom in on that one. I've tried my best to kind of fill it in with plastic putty, and it's done its job, but it's nowhere near as flush. But that literally sits on there and completely disguises that, which I'm probably going to glue it on. If anybody knows a reason why I shouldn't glue this on, please let me know in the comments in the doobly-doo down below. I'd be very appreciative of that. Other things that I've done with this, I've done a little bit more painting, a little bit more detail on the head of the canopy carapace, the cockpit carapace. I've done these little bits here. I need to give them a bit of a wash and some weathering on there, but that's looking alright. I love how like stable and sturdy this head is on there with this absolutely dock-off neodymium magnet there. Got to be careful about putting it on and putting it off. Got to kind of rock it on. And the nice thing is, I have allowed the freedom of movement in this bit, so it will turn pretty much all the way around if I want it to. Not sure why I would, but anyhow. Do have to be careful about setting this down now, because it will rub the paint off this if I'm not careful, if I don't put it down on something soft. But in other things, I've put the back vents on, the back vent cowling, and you can't really see it. It's a little bit bright, but outside and off the camera, I've actually done some gradual shading on here for the, you can kind of see it a little bit for the exhaust vents. And I also stuck this little Mechanicum skull over here because I just wanted something a little bit different rather than just bare metal down the back. So that's just something a little bit different to look at. Let's just move that out of the way for the time being. In regards to gluing it, guys, it's all epoxy glued. It's glued with Evo stick. Again, I said this on, in fact, let me just go and grab it. Hold on, where's my dog? Just so I don't run her over. Just under the desk, as usual. What I use, a lot of people like to use JB Weld. I don't like it. It takes too long to dry, and I just use this Evo stick. This is Evo stick Rapid 5-minute epoxy. It's a 2-part resin, which is like the JB Weld, but it dries clear as opposed to the horrible grey black colour that JB Weld does. So it kind of, you can use it to kind of like disguise joins and things like that a little bit better if you don't want to have to fuck about painting over it. But this is the stuff that I use. It's only about £3-4 quid for a pack. Luckily I have quite a decent access to it where I work, and plus I get my discount on it as well. So that's what I use personally to glue most of this Titan. However, the next trial will be building the legs, and I will come on to that in just a second. First and foremost, let's just have a little look at this carapace. I was quite happy with the way this turned out. I really like the way the gold kind of has this like burnished gold effect, and I did a little bit of highlighting and stuff on the feathers of the Aquila. It turned out pretty nice. I might go in and do a few more bits of detailing, like I might make this skull up on the top of the shield that I added pop a little bit, and I may work on the scroll work a little bit, and I might actually put a name on there freehand. I might get one of those fine liner pens to do that with. Obviously still need to paint this bit here. That's where the that's where this beast is going to go, so that sits in there like that, and then that's going to add so much more weight to this bastard. And again, I'm going to magnetise that in there. I'm probably going to use the same kind of neodymium magnets as the head and the weapon mounts that I'm going to do, which are these feck-off magnets here. In fact, I've actually got 2 different sizes there. I should probably order some more of those. Yeah, so that's going to be secured with that beastie magnet. But yeah, I just thought I'd show you the carapace because I was quite happy with it. I like the way it kind of like shines. You got like the shine of the green carapace, and you got the shine of the gold here. It's really quite nice, really quite iridescent. It's lovely. But that being said, I decided that I was going to move on to tackle some of the legs, which is the bit that I have been putting off quite a bit, really, because it scares me a little bit doing the legs, because the legs are something that if you fuck it up, you don't get a second chance in doing it again. So I started with these, I don't know, I'm going to call these the femur and hip sections. Is it a femur? Is the top part of your leg where your thigh is, the bone underneath your thigh muscle? Is that a femur? I think it is. But yeah, so I started with these bits here, and I tell you something, I've had to use the thickest, and I mean the thickest pins I ever thought I would ever use. Again, luckily I'm in a position where I can pick up, I'll just fucking knock the camera, I can pick up brass rod fairly easily, and I was using my multi-tool here with a cutting disc on there. Oh, can't see if I can turn it off properly. Using that to trim the rod down. And yeah, so this was basically the pins and brass rod. I was kind of wondering why everyone tends to go for brass rod. Maybe someone can tell me in the comments in the doobly-doo down below, because I was thinking of using like an aluminium rod. And I don't know, I was kind of like looking at my workplace, and I was like, well, it's fairly strong. Like on a short piece, I can't bend that hard. I mean, if I really tried, I could, but general wear and tear, it's not going to be that bendable. I don't know whether that brass rod is used. Brass rod is used because it's, I don't know, is it non-reactive? I know it's fairly strong. It's not exactly a heavy metal either. I suppose it's better over aluminium rod. Aluminium was fairly malleable material, and obviously if I was to use like an iron rod of the same diameter, it may react with the paint and with the glue and rust, and then cause it to become weaker. I don't know. You tell me, guys. Is it because it's non-reactive and strong? It probably is, but it would be nice to have some clarification. But anyway, on with the inner workings of the femurs here. So this is the hip section. I'm not sure which way around it goes. I don't know if it matters. I don't think it does. I think it's pretty much symmetrical no matter what size it is. But basically, I had to... These are the size of the feckin' pins that I've got. So I had to use my trusty Ryobi drill and actually drill out there. It's always fun when you get to use power tools on a project this size. Fucking love it. Makes me very, very happy using power tools. But yeah, so that goes in there because I wanted this to be a very, very strong connection. So that's perfectly drilled out there. And in fact, if I just twist it like that, it's such a snug fit. It really is brilliant. Like I reckon I could put that on without gluing and it would be fine. And then I also had to, if I just pull this apart here, I had to put a pin in this bit here because what I didn't want is for this piece to break, because if this piece goes, it's going to be a hell of a job to try and repair it. I was thinking of putting additional pins in these bits here, but I thought with the thickness of this and the thickness of this pin, it wouldn't need to. So that just fits in there like this, and then these two bits, they don't fit perfectly, but if you do kind of like push it out of the way and play with the give that the resin allows you to get to, you know, exert over it, then it does fit. You bastard, it's not fucking doing it now. Oh, what a cunt. Come on, get in there, you fucker. There we go. It does fit in pretty nicely and it's pretty snug. And once that's all epoxied together, that is a part that is never ever gonna come out. You know, that's a sturdy piece of resin. So I've done that with the same one here. So this basically will make up the top of the legs, and it goes in these bits like that. And this allows you to, you know, obviously you can do it either like that. Now it's doing a dance. It's doing a dance around with no legs. Anyway, but yeah, so you actually get a bit of freedom of movement as well to kind of like rotate it slightly like this. So you can actually do some interesting leg poses. One of the things that it does have is these little nubs here, these little nipples, these little leg boobs right here. Oop, oop. Tweak, tweak. What the fuck am I doing? I'm going slightly insane, guys. The lockdown's full on getting to me. But anyway, I digress. Leg boobs aside, let's continue. Yeah, so I'm not sure whether or not I want to put a pin all the way through. So I might shave the shave the nipples right off there, so that way that I can put a rod going all the way through, because this is a complete all the way through kind of effort. That way I can have it completely perpendicular to it. You know, completely perpendicular, is it? Opposite? Parallel? No? Adjacent? Completely adjacent to it. That way there's going to be no room for me like kind of like fucking up like this and like posing it like that or like that, you know, so it's completely straight on and I can get a really good fit and make it really balanced. The correct way to do Titan legs, according to the Grandmaster himself, Moggy of Moggy's Miniatures, is to start with one foot and build up. So I have the foot, I have the shin piece, I have that, and then once that's in place, then I can put this bit on like this. Jesus Christ, this camera's not quite right. I can put this bit on, then I can pose the body on it, glue that to where it is, finally glue this leg in place, and then put the body on there. So that's my next port of call, and it's the bit that I'm kind of been fearing the most. I don't think I'm going to need to do anything drastic with these pieces. These pieces are the chunks which go, I'm not sure which way they go. I think they go like, no, I think they go like that. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they go like that. So this is the entire kind of like leg assembly here, and then do I have a foot piece on the go? Yes, I do. Right here. So that's its foot. and that'll go in there like that. And as you can tell, he's a leggy boy. He's a lanky bastard. But it means you can pose it kneeling down. You can turn it. You can angle it pretty far. Well, as far as the pistons will allow. I've not come to that hurdle yet. That's another thing that I'm absolutely dreading, is fucking about with the pistons and stuff. I'm very, very scared of doing that in case I fuck it up, because I don't have any spares. I might have a few spares, I don't know, but I don't have enough to warrant multiple fuck ups. But yeah, so that's that bit on the go there. So I don't know what I'm going to do. I think I'm just going to have it. I'm not going to do anything fancy with it, like have it like stomping on an Imperial Knight or something. I'm just going to have it as like a stable as I can pose. But I don't think that I'll need any pins in here. I think there's enough contact on these bits here, in order to get a really good epoxy kind of epoxy. I don't know. My words escape me. A really good epoxy contact, so that should be okay. And then equally with that ball joint is fairly substantial. And what I may do, I may, like when Moggy helped me build the legs, I may build it with failure points in mind. So I might super glue this, but then it's all the weight's on the weakest thing. What I might do, I might super glue the knee joint, and then I might epoxy this. But bear in mind, it's going to have some others there. I might, oh no, super glue might do it. I don't know. I'm gonna have to consult some of the experts on the best way to glue this. I really am not sure on this, guys. But with that being said, guys, I've rambled on for like 16 minutes now. So I'm gonna leave it be. I'm gonna crack on with the rest of that. So, thank you very much for watching. Please, please, please let me know what you think of it so far. It means a hell of a lot. All your comments, I do read them. Don't forget to check out the Facebook page. Don't forget to check out the Instagram. I post on more on there than I do on the Facebook page. And yeah, don't forget to like, favourite and subscribe. Yeah, let me know how it's going in the comments and the doobly down below. How are you spending your lockdown? What are you doing? What are you building? What are your projects that you're doing currently? But anyway, that being said, I'm going to, on that bombshell, I'm going to leave. So guys, thank you very much for watching. See you now, and goodbye.